and welcome to Teed Up, an original podcast created and produced by Long Beach State's student-run newspaper, The Daily 49er. I'm Christina Agresta.
I am Sunny Tapia.
I'm Maddie G.
And I'm Naoki.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you guys for being here. As always, let's jump in with beach sports.
Man, it feels good to see everybody here, like all at once.
Yeah, we're
again.
back.
You know,
We're
it's been a
back.
while.
We're back.
It's been a while,
Couple
and
Yeah.
of guests in between.
yeah, we missed you guys. I hope you guys had a lot of fun at the Grand Prix, and
We did.
me and Maddie, we held it down here. On some beach sports, I know we talk a lot about volleyball, basketball, you know, like good or bad. But I want to highlight a sport today that flies a little bit under the radar here at Long Beach, and one that we're actually pretty good at.
Yes.
Our women's golf team, freshman Jasmine Loval, she won the individual title at the Big West Championship as a freshman.
Way to go, Jasmine. Oh my god, that's killer.
Everybody knows that Teed Up here, we love our women's sports.
We do.
Support your women's sports, please. But yeah, first place, she's been killing it all season. And then her teammate, Hannah Ko, a junior, she placed third in that same tournament.
Yeah, so we had two Long Beach players in the top three.
And
That's great.
The Big West is very competitive for
Yep.
golf.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Ian Gilligan, you know, the greatest golfer to pick up a pair of
Men's
golf clubs
golfer.
since Charles Barkley.
Ah.
Probably the best golfer I've ever seen, ever. He placed 10th in the El Masur Classic, but I mean, he's still like a top 15 ranked golfer in the nation. Like he's still he's killing it. And Aiden, please, if there's a way that we can put the Charles Barkley golf swing clip in here somewhere, it's legendary. Ian Gilligan is legit the best golfer I've ever seen after Charles Barkley. Like it's good.
I think there are better golfers than Charles Barkley.
What do you mean?
Just saying.
Show Charles his respect, okay?
I mean,
He's got a good swing.
I mean, Arnold Palmer has a drink named after him, so
Yeah.
there's that.
There's Tiger.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. You know what?
Yeah.
Tiger, yeah, that's a good one.
Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy. I could go on about golf for days.
We gotta do a teed up golf
Okay.
game.
We should go
Yeah.
play at Big Rec or something.
We
and
should just do
record.
mini golf. It's fine.
You know what we should do? You know how Dude Perfect did the all sports golf?
Oh,
Yes.
so down.
We gotta do that.
We gotta do
Wait, so
that.
like you would kick like a soccer ball in a hole?
Yeah, and then no, but
Okay.
then we switch it off, and it'd be like a frisbee, then
Yeah.
like a tennis racket, and a ball.
Yeah.
We'll do that. But we gotta add some the more bizarre ones in there.
Cricket.
How,
Archery?
like archery, like pickleball, obviously.
Pickleball.
For obvious reasons, we get some pickleball in there.
I'm into
Um,
it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then last week we kind of touched on there was the women's basketball coach vacancy. Now that vacancy has been filled
Really quickly too.
pretty
20
fast.
days.
Yeah.
Pretty fast. And we're bringing in Coach Amy Wright. She was the former coach of the University of Oklahoma, and she
Associate.
Associate.
Associate. Yeah.
she was, I mean, based on what we know about her, she was basically Oklahoma's guard whisperer.
Yes.
That's basically what it was. And she, in her time there, and especially last season, she helped Oklahoma get their first Big 12 title, their first conference title, en route to obviously making it to the tournament. They didn't make it very far, but
I mean, hey, they made it to the second round. That's really good.
Yeah.
And now she's going to be coming into a program as the lead.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be kind of cool to see if she can do the same thing
Yeah.
with a team that's rebuilding.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
we lost a lot of our seniors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
should
I
be
mean,
interesting.
Her thing is she had led this team to a top 5 scoring offense last season, 84.4 points per game, second in the nation, and that team was third in assists per game. So obviously she is a coach that emphasizes in ball movement, player movement. You know, the ball doesn't really stick to any one player, and I think with a team like this that as of this moment there's no clear cut superstar of this team as of yet, and there's no clear number 1, 2, 3 option. It'll be interesting to see
Who kind of pops out?
who stands out.
Yeah.
If this offense that she wants to run with this beach women's team, that if it allows any players to really just shine above everybody else.
Yeah.
But we want to wish Coach Wright the best of luck.
Oh yeah,
Going
don't worry.
next
I
semester.
won't be on the pod next semester, so you
Yeah.
know you won't have to listen to me.
You'll be safe.
Talk about you. You'll be fine.
safe. You'll be safe.
Also wishing Coach Cameron on his
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
adventure.
Yeah.
We'll miss him here at Long
Thank
Beach.
you for your time here.
Great year,
Mhm.
phenomenal year.
It's a great year.
Yeah, Coach Wright has to fill some pretty big shoes,
Yeah.
pretty big ones.
She got it though.
She got
Yeah.
it.
She got it though.
Come on,
And
man.
it'll be great to see a female coach coaching a female team. I mean, I love to see
Yeah.
that. So,
It'll be amazing.
well, Naoki, you mentioned at the top that me and Sunny were gone last week, and that's because we were covering the Long Beach Grand Prix,
That's right.
which is a sport, actually.
So loud. I just have to point that out. So loud.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
So it was Sunny's first time going to the Long Beach Grand Prix. It was my third time, and it was a killer weekend.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. The other supporting series were really great. We had the Porsche Carrera Cup. We
Loved
had
it.
Super Trucks. We had IMSA, Historic F1, which was really cool. They raced like old cars from like the 90s and 80s, which was dope.
That doesn't sound safe.
No one crashed, I don't think.
Not in the historic race.
No.
There were a couple crashes in the IndyCar
In
series,
the IndyCar
and then
series.
also 1 or 2, I believe, in the IMSA race.
Yeah,
So,
in the IMSA race.
Yeah, but it was fine overall. They weren't like terrible, thank God. But yeah,
So then what would you guys say were some of the bigger storylines that are coming out of this Grand Prix?
I mean, we got to talk about Kyle Kirkwood.
what a guy.
What a guy. 24 years old. He's from South Florida. Big friends with F1 driver Logan Sargent. He got his first pole and his first win of his career this weekend, and
Love to
only
see it.
his third race with Andretti Autosport. So he actually was brought up in the feeder series by Andretti, and then they ended up loaning him out to a different team last year. So this year is like his homecoming, basically.
Wow.
And oh my God, there was a press conference where Kyle Kirkwood was sitting there with Michael Andretti, who is obviously the head of Andretti.
Mhm.
And you could just see how excited Michael was. It was such a great weekend. Kyle performed so well. Like, he did not make a single mistake the whole weekend. So many people were saying he was, holding himself like a pro. He was so kind. I mean, truly a great guy. I'm really excited to see, what the rest of the year has to hold for him. And then also, Andretti did really, really well that weekend.
Yeah, they had like majority of the top 5, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
2 of the top 3
Two of
were Honda Andretti.
Yeah, 2 of the top 3 were Andretti with Kyle Kirkwood and Roman Grosjean.
Mhm.
And then third, Chip Ganassi. They had Marcus Ericsson, who is now leading the championship. Do I think he will keep leading the championship? No. We love Marcus on this podcast, but
Do we?
I know.
I don't know, Marcus.
I don't know.
No.
We only have love.
We know
We
one
only have
Marcus.
time for one Marcus.
Sohonis.
Yes, we only can show love to one Marcus at a time, please.
No, I think if it weren't for Pato Award's tough weekend, I don't think Ericsson would be in the top spot. I think it was Pato's race to win, and he
choked it. It didn't really pan out for him. And I mean, even when I was there, even though it was my first time kind of being there, kind of watching it, it was getting easier as the weekend went on to like pick up who were going to be the leaders, and especially talking to you about it
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So I mean, I feel a similar way about it, even though I'm very new to the sport.
Mhm.
I thought he should have probably taken it, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out.
I
It just
mean,
didn't.
I feel like Pato kind of always chokes in front of the Long Beach crowd, at least as from what I've seen. There is a huge Pato Award like mafia here.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
if I went to go interview people about who their favorite drivers were, every person I talked to said, I love Pato Award. I love Pato Award. He's from Mexico. We have a really big Hispanic community here. People love that man. And, it could be the pressure of almost like a home race. But yeah, it was a great weekend.
It was fun.
overall.
It was really fun.
And then we got to talk about another Marcus Armstrong. Lots of Marcuses on this podcast.
But there's one very bad one. But
Sohonis,
yeah.
I know.
Well, we weren't gonna name.
I didn't say it. I just said one.
What are you
I just
doing?
said one. That's on you. I didn't do nothing.
See, Layla came up with, to remember all of the drivers over the weekend, we came up with nicknames for everyone. So
Okay.
Layla kept calling Marcus Armstrong Sohonis to remember that his name was
The
Marcus.
influence.
But yeah, he leading the rookie battle this year. He's not even driving ovals, but he finished in the top 10, and that was a killer finish for Chip Ganassi. So all in all, good weekend. I hope Sonny had fun,
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. and we did a good job.
We were hoping you would have fun. You would have had fun. We were talking about like how you don't like anything. It sounds
That
like you
is
had a good
true.
time though.
Well, I wouldn't say anything. I would just say I don't like bricks. I like baskets. So
Did the sunburn dampen the mood?
not really, because it didn't really hurt. So that was a plus. Even
I
though I
stayed
was just
inside the
like
whole
a tomato. I was like bright red.
Is that
So
right?
yeah, that was fun.
So
No.
then, what do the results of that weekend entail for the rest of the season?
I mean, it's hard to tell. We're only in the third race, but I think we're starting to see who the front runners are. I think, in a way, Kirkwood has a shot at being in that top 5. I think Grosjean still is battling out for those top spots. I'm hoping for him to get his first race. His first race win. I feel it coming. But I'm still betting on Pato to win the whole thing. I really think it's his year, even though he choked this weekend. You know, he didn't perform well at all this weekend, and he's still second in the championship. So
Okay.
that's what we're feeling. And, you know, Ilott also, he was looking really good. He was 7th in the championship going to this weekend, but it's not a great weekend for him. But I'm hoping he can turn it around. So we have a few people to look at. But overall, you know, it's too early in the season to tell.
Well, we're rooting for Kyle Kirkwood on
Yeah.
this side.
Yeah.
We love Kyle. He
We love
drives a
Kyle.
pink car.
Yeah, that
Oh,
pink
see,
car is
even
so
better.
bright.
Come on.
It's very much giving Barbiecore, like
Is that
Yeah.
right?
the Barbie movie should sponsor him, please.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that.
The page layout was really nice for his side of the story.
All pink,
All pink.
pink
Loved it.
headlines, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that
page
car.
design.
That thing is beautiful. It's a beautiful car.
Indy cars are beautiful
Yeah.
cars. I think they're a lot more like pretty than F1 cars. I know it's a hot take, but like
Whoa.
there's something about the aero screen and just the way they look that I just love. And their liveries are always so bright and interesting.
I'll buy one. Daily 49er. IndyCar. I'll buy one. It's fine.
We'll enter it in next year's Grand Prix.
IndyCar, if you're looking for new sponsors who can't pay you, hit us up. We'd love to
we
be a
should
part
like
of the team.
we should like a YouTube video of us like in the car. We'll do a team up episode inside of a car.
They did do hot laps where they had celebrities. They had is her name Sydney McLaughlin, the track star, the U.S. track star?
I don't know.
Sydney something. Layla put in the
We love
captions what her
Sydney.
correct name is. But she did a hot lap where she was in a 2-seater Indy car and she got to drive around the track and it was really cool. But yeah,
Sydney McLaughlin.
yeah, Sydney McLaughlin, she was
Okay.
there and she did a hot lap and she was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. So Grand Prix of Long Beach, get Naoki in for a hot lap next year.
That's right. I'll come in with my jar of pickles.
Yeah. Eat your pickles as you're going across
Oh
the
yeah,
track.
you already know. I need that photo though, like of like me like having the pickle.
I got you.
Like almost like a
I'll get it.
cigar.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
on my victory lap,
I got you.
Bottle,
and then like
it's just
catch me
pickle
like
juice.
a couple minutes of just like spitting it out.
Well, this is going to be the most cheesy transition I've ever done. But
Okay.
moving from the hot streets of Long Beach, let's go to the cool
rinks
NHL,
of the
cool
NHL.
cool rinks of the NHL.
That hurt my soul. By the
Yeah,
way.
I'm gonna actually move away from that transition first because of that. But I just want to like say what's happened with the Oakland Athletics is like really sad, especially for professional sports in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To see a team move purely for like money,
Yeah.
because I know people say the fans don't show up, and it's true. They have like a 6,000 fan attendance this year,
Yeah.
but there's no reason to show up. They're not fielding a competitive team. They have 3 wins on the year. The stadium is falling apart. They had a possum in the media rooms for like all the announcers. But still, Oakland loves baseball. They've lost 3 professional sports teams now in 10 years.
Yeah,
Well,
the Raiders.
I mean, just be good, and then
But
you
they
won't
were
lose
good.
teams.
That's the thing. Like, I know Moneyball. It's my favorite movie.
It's a good movie.
And it's like a really good baseball strategy, but every team uses Moneyball now. The A's kind of just never moved on. They don't want to spend, but their owner, he is a billionaire.
Yeah.
He has the money. They say it's a small market. He could spend, they could compete. They don't
That's
want to
true.
compete. And so fans don't want to show up.
I mean, I think I'm from the Bay, coming from a Bay person. I think Oakland fans, they're just tired. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
the Raiders got taken away from them, and now, you know, the A's are being taken. Like, I think people thought like it was
Yeah.
just inevitable that the A's were going to move, because I think they competed out of the same stadium. Like, you were a Raiders and A's fan. You were
Yeah.
never just one.
yeah.
And so now that they've kind of moved on, a lot of people aren't
Yeah.
showing up
And then
anymore.
the Warriors moved from Oakland to San Francisco a couple years ago.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It just
Mhm.
keeps
just
happening.
keeps,
Yeah.
if you live in the Oakland area, it's rough.
I mean, I get it. Like, there's so many professional sports teams throughout the whole state. I mean, we
Yeah.
have teams
LA.
in Sacramento, we have teams in LA, we have teams in San Francisco, but
San Diego.
like we have people everywhere, but it's still
Well,
it hurts a little bit.
I mean, at least Oakland still has one professional athlete that still likes to come around. Marshawn Lynch.
That's true.
He's like the
Marshawn
goat of Oakland.
That is true.
Comes over. That's where he retired. He threw up his cleats on the power line and was like, "I'm done."
Yeah, Damian Lillard's from Oakland too.
Yep.
But you know,
Marshall Lynch is better, but you know.
he is. Yeah. I'm just here so I don't get fined. If you know, you know.
Iconic.
Iconic. But yeah, I mean, speaking of rough things,
Mhm.
let's talk about some hockey playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really fun start to the playoffs. I think we're about 2 to 3 games in for each series now.
Not for one player. It hasn't been fun for one player. You got 75 stitches.
Yeah, we were gonna get there. Morgan Barron, very.
I'd rather get there now. That sounds so painful.
But the thing is, like in hockey, 75 stitches just like another day at the office. He missed 20 minutes and came back out.
It's
Oh
true.
my, wait, I'm sorry. He left for 20 minutes, got 75 stitches, and then came back for play.
And just had like
he
a
just
cage.
put on a cage,
Oh my god.
and it was like the eye.
Yeah,
Aiden, if you can put up a picture.
Yeah, please,
No, like
Aiden.
the video's crazy.
it is.
His
No,
face
please
just
don't-
goes
please don't do that.
straight down.
It's straight
into
down and
the
then
blade.
slides down the blade. It's wild.
Mhm.
And then he just comes
Yep.
back.
Well, it's playoff hockey. I mean, like these Stanley Cup, in my
Hockey
opinion,
players built different, bro.
Stanley Cup, in my opinion, is like the greatest achievement in North American sports
Mhm.
because it's just such a grueling playoff push, and it's so like anyone can win in
Yeah.
hockey.
True.
I think it's one of the few sports where like upsets are common.
Mm.
I know when you look at NBA playoffs versus hockey, it's statistically more likely for an underdog to win,
Yeah.
and it just like kind of tends to always be that way.
Yeah. And March Madness is the same thing, right?
Yeah.
March Madness is kind of like the what is it called? Like the big picture of like upset season
Upsets,
and
yeah.
Cinderella stories, right? But no, hockey playoffs for sure. They're like, I mean, comparing it to the NBA playoffs, it's like you have your favorites every year, and you
Mhm.
might get like an 8 seed. I don't think an 8 seed has beat a 1 seed like in a long time, but like a 7 seed beating a 2 seed in the NBA playoffs. But at the end of the day, the finals matchup always ends up being a top 3 seed versus a top 3 seed. But yeah, that cut is rough.
Mhm.
That thing is crazy.
I wouldn't have came back. I would have cried and went home.
And I feel like
Yes.
that probably will like not be the worst injury we see someone
No,
play
it
during
probably
the playoffs.
won't.
Yeah.
Probably won't.
It's
Yeah.
hockey to be
I
fair
mean,
though.
there's players who have played with punctured ribs,
Yeah.
It's
Oh
true.
my god.
and like it just happens. You want to get out there and do your best, so
I mean,
you
I
do
will
like smelling
say,
salts, and you just get back on the ice.
I rarely watch hockey. I'm just not a hockey girl. But when I do watch, it's kind of epic. Like, not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Bleep that, please.
Bleep, just-
We had done so good.
I know.
That's it.
That
It broke the
episode's in when
streak.
I was cussing.
It broke the
It's
streak.
me.
And out of any one of us, it had to be.
I feel like out of any of us, I'm the best to have broken the cursing streak, though.
Gosh.
But I mean, talking about like an injury, player safety has been one of the biggest things so far in these playoffs. We had Matthew Dumba's hit on Joe Pavelski.
Mm-hmm.
Pavelski's going to be out for the rest of the first round at least. He's in concussion protocol, and the penalty was called a major on the ice, and then they reversed it to a minor, no suspension. And then on the other side, you have Michael Bunting, who got suspended for 3 games for a questionable hit, but 1 game max really should have been the case. And it just always seems to be player safety not understanding how to suspend a player properly.
Mhm.
I mean, Joe Pavelski being out is going to severely hurt the Stars, and no repercussions. Love to see it.
Love to see you.
Yeah. But so far, there's been like 2 series I've been really paying attention to. Toronto, Tampa.
I saw that. I was
The
watching
game
that
last
yesterday.
night?
I was watching that
Yeah.
yesterday, yeah.
Well, so that game was interesting because the day before, Tampa wins 7-3. And then last night was Toronto winning 7-2.
Yeah, 7-2.
Like, it just flips so fast.
Yeah. And like I was surprisingly, I was watching this while I was picking up my food at Buffalo Spot. Like I was getting my food, and I was just happened to catch it on TV. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, it was like the first period, and the Maple Leafs were like leading like 3-0 at the end of that first period. I was
Yeah.
like, this is pretty cool. And then I left.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's more intense too when you know that in that 7-2 loss
Mhm.
for Tampa, the goalkeeper
Yes.
refused to leave.
He
because
did.
it was for his streak. No, like his streak of playing in every minute of the playoffs since 2018.
Most likely, yeah. I didn't know the
I think
exact
that's what I
reason,
read.
But I
What
just
I
know
read is
Andre
that.
Vasilevsky told John Cooper he would not come off the ice. and,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Wow.
something. It's hard to like fault him to some extent. The night
Yeah.
before, Marc-Andre Fleury gave up 6 goals in a period and a half, and I thought for sure he would get pulled. But I think in playoff hockey, you just don't see goalies get pulled that often.
I think it's that, but then also, I mean, like you said earlier, like it's playoff hockey, and it's
Yeah.
like you want to put your best game forward,
Yeah.
and so it's like when you're a professional athlete as well in any sport, it doesn't matter what it is.
That's
When you're a
exactly.
professional athlete, you have that like drive and that ambition to like want to keep playing regardless of injury, of whatever's happening in the game and things like that. So, I mean, I don't blame him. If I were him, I would have stayed in too.
Yeah, I think it was not the right call when you look at the final score.
No, absolutely not.
but,
But
you can't fault him. And Vasilevsky's been like one of the best goalies over the past 5 years. He's won
Yeah.
his ring, so
Yeah.
big ups to him, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then staying local, Kings, Edmonton. This is a series I've been
It's
waiting
wild.
for. my hot takes early into playoff predictions, even before playoffs, where I thought the Kings are a true contender. I think they can make the Stanley Cup. And I still hold that. I think game 1 was like a really good analysis of that.
Okay.
They were down 2-0 after 2 periods. You come back, then they take the lead again, and then they score 17 seconds left, and then go on to win game 1 in overtime. Like, the team has fight in them.
It's true. I mean, even though Edmonton, like, they basically outplayed the Kings in both games.
Well, like,
It's just the Kings came out in the first game, and then they didn't in the second one. And it was the same kind of storyline.
Yeah, they came back again in game 2.
Yeah.
I mean, sign up the Kings for me is they play like a fundamentally solid game of hockey, but they're not skilled. They've never been. They play dump and chase hockey. It's not attractive. I think they're one of the boringest teams to watch coming as a fan. Versus like Edmonton, you have Connor McDavid.
It's just so dynamic.
He can literally glide through any player.
It's so dynamic.
But I mean, he got pocketed.
It's true. He did.
He got pocketed.
He
and then
did.
Gabe Vilardi came back, and I mean, he scores a goal. So Kings get Kevin Fiala back. I really do think this game's it's going 7. It's going 7.
I think it's going to go 7, but then also, I mean, Edmonton, they outshot the Kings in game 2 37-24. And so it's like, I feel like the Kings are going to have to kind of alter their defensive strategy to slow down that offensive Edmonton, because like you said, Edmonton is much more dynamic. Like they're much more versatile when it comes to stuff like that. So I think they got to slow it down in the back end, especially.
See, like the thing with that is the Kings are also a smaller team too. Like everything's against them really in the series. Edmonton was the best team in the league over the final half of the year.
Underdog story.
Hey, Kings are historic for the underdog story.
It's
the first
true.
8th seed in North American sports to win. But yeah, we can hop into pickle break, I think.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Okay.
Pickle break.
We love Portland Pickles.
We do.
We've
That's right.
talked about their sponsor, Grillo's Pickles. I found out recently Grillo's Pickles sued Boston legend Mark Wahlberg.
Why?
So
What the Boston legend?
Wahlburgers, I guess, advertised them as having fresh pickles. Wahlburgers does not have fresh pickles according to Grillo's. They use preservatives.
Oh.
Wow.
This is like tearing up the pickle industry. I mean,
Oh,
Wahlburgers, that's like iconic in Boston. Grillo's, iconic in Boston.
That's true.
You can buy a
Yep.
whole entire carton.
in Fenway.
In Fenway, we learned about this.
Yes.
Is there a Wahlburgers location in Boston? I thought it was just in Vegas.
No.
No, it's.
I mean, they're from Boston.
They're from
Uh,
Boston.
okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
establishment.
And then also, pickleball players, 6 times more likely to play hockey.
I think that makes sense.
I think they just get bored. They're like,
Yeah.
I want to check somebody into a wall.
I would think it'd be the opposite way. Like a hockey player's like 20 times more likely to play pickleball. But
Like after retirement type
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
I feel like pickleball is like an old man sport a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
It's like to
retirement.
see like a 45-year-old with 2 blown out knees trying to get on the ice.
Yeah,
Heroic, I guess.
I'd pay to see that.
I would pay to see that.
I would pay.
I'd pay to see that.
And then, Sonny, if you were in Chicago, what can you not put on a hot dog?
First of all, I'm very happy to be back to be questioned like this, but to be really honest, I have no idea.
Don't put ketchup on a hot dog.
Oh, I feel like I've heard that.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Really?
feel like I've heard
a lot
that.
of
They
Chicago
don't
hot
like
dog
it.
vendors don't have
Mm-mm.
ketchup there at all. It's like a sin.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what they put on their hot dogs in Chicago?
Relish.
Pickles.
Pickles.
Just straight
It's a
pickles?
spear. The
Oh,
classic
that
Chicago.
sounds
I love
so
how we're
good,
in
though.
this segment of this podcast and she goes, relish?
Well, relish is like pickle.
It is.
It
pickle
is, it is.
adjacent.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
It would
pickle
have been,
adjacent.
been so much better if you just said like mustard or like, like
Mayonnaise?
horseradish. Yeah, mayo? Mayo? Tartar sauce?
Just like a whole spear.
A whole spear, yeah, with
Oh,
the
that sounds so good.
tomatoes and
Oh,
the
it sounds
sesame
so
seeds,
good.
and then like the sweet peppers.
Gross.
No.
Can we
Gotta
have a
have a
pickle break where we
Chicago
just eat stuff? Like just eat pickle stuff.
Last
studio?
episode.
You can puke. I'll love it. It's fine. It'll be great.
I would really like
We're
that.
not doing this.
No, I would really like that. I'm running really low on pickle.
I want a
content.
chickle. I want
And
a
if
chickle.
I could
That's
just
all I gotta
eat
say.
pickles-
Okay, I will put my digestive system on the
Online.
line. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I'll tap in for you, Naoki. I'll tap
All
in.
right, all right. I'm glad that I'm being supported.
Well, moving on from the pickle break, we've got to talk about the Champions League.
Oh, my
This is fun. This is
favorite.
all you.
My
This
favorite.
is great.
I just know Ted Lasso, so I will be
You know what?
referring
Ted
to.
Lasso
good.
hasn't played in the Champions League though.
That's true.
Ted
Same with
Lasso.
Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham. Hey, but the U17 finally won a trophy. The only time Tottenham will ever win a trophy. But no, the second leg of the Champions League wrapped up this week. I want to highlight one big thing here. Through 2 games, of the second leg, Chelsea did not score a single goal against Real Madrid.
It's okay, Maddie. You can cry.
Not that we
Yeah.
expected them to score anyway.
I mean, you see the team sheet and you kind of already know what's
Yeah.
happening. You play a 5-back,
Yeah.
Kai Havertz up top, and Gallagher at cam, and it's just like there's no reason to watch.
Yeah, Mateo's watching this right now, like giggling at you. I know.
Mateo
like-
was already telling me it was over, and you know,
Yeah.
I trust his takes more than my own.
Yeah,
so.
you know what? He did provide some very in-depth analysis.
Yeah,
And then Bayern went out. That was a big
Bayern
one.
went out.
Bayern went out. They had to play City, which is a little bit unfortunate.
I think City's my favorite to win the
I
tournament. so
was just about to get to that.
it doesn't really surprise me. I think Bayern sacking Nagelsmann to
Oh,
bring in
I saw that.
Tuchel just because Tuchel beat Man City the year before is
Yeah.
questionable.
Actually, Nagelsmann just dropped out of the race
I
for
know.
being the new
Yeah,
Chelsea manager.
No one wants to manage.
Nobody
us.
wants to manage
We're
Chelsea.
so in the mud.
Maybe you can get call up Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
You're stuck in the mud.
Not even
Sorry,
Ted
Mike.
Lasso. Bring in Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, please just bring in Sudeikis
I feel like he could honestly run a club better than Frank Lampard.
or manage
Frank Lampard over his last 17 games has won 2.
or manage it better than Todd Bowley. Get Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Get him out of
Hey,
Wrexham. Get him out of Hey, they're about to get promoted.
I know.
Yeah.
Shout out Wrexham.
Yeah, Wrexham's about to
Yeah.
get promoted into what is it, League One?
Yeah, so they'll finally be in like the actual professional part of the pyramid because they're currently
Yay!
playing
Yeah.
in like semi-professional level.
Yeah.
English pyramid's interesting.
They signed Ben Foster like as a late
Yeah,
season
the
push.
Bicycling keeper.
Yeah, the cycling GK. Yeah, Ben Foster's like a former Premier League, like Man United,
Well,
Watford
he had
keeper.
Premier League like offer still.
Yeah, he did.
Like teams still wanted him in the league, and
Came
he
out of
said
it-
he was done.
Came out of retirement just to play for Ryan Reynolds.
Well, it's his boyhood club,
That is, he did start.
Mhm.
He did start off his career there.
and I mean, like, I think wanting to lift him out the Vanarama North makes sense.
Yeah. So now the quarterfinals are set. It's gonna be on one side. It's gonna be the what we call the Milan Derby,
Mhm.
Inter versus AC Milan, and on the other side, which the matches that I'm certainly looking forward to the most is gonna be Real Madrid versus Manchester City. I believe that whoever makes it out of that City Madrid matchup will ultimately win it all. I just don't believe that either one of Inter or Milan can compete with the firepower of both of those teams.
No, they're just offensive. They're just so
Yeah.
powerfully offensive.
And I mean, their defense is amazing. Their midfield play, just from like top to bottom, from front to back, is just like they're both of those teams are like so well balanced, so well put together. A lot of those people, like especially Madrid, that's a team that's been playing mostly together for like the past like decade.
Well, I
And-
mean, that's what's kind of funny though, is like because we were talking about it earlier, how what I was reading, like the Vegas odds, they're on Man City.
yeah,
Like Man City's the favorite right now.
I think it makes sense. I mean, they have the secret weapon of like a well-oiled machine,
yeah,
milk.
Mhm.
yeah, milk.
Erling Haaland
Erling
said
Haaland.
he credits his goal scoring ability to milk, and it's proven.
I mean, this is why Manchester City brought in Erling Haaland, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, City didn't need Haaland to win the Prem, right? Because I feel like
Julian
they-
Alvarez would have been a fine striker.
Yeah.
He's more than capable.
But this is what they brought in Holland for. It was for the Champions League play, right?
Mhm.
This what I like to call the tap-in merchant.
Yeah.
He does not score
Yep.
pretty goals.
He does not score beautiful. It's just like throw it anywhere in the goalie's box. It's Holland's gonna get
But
there.
goal's a goal.
A goal's a goal.
Goal's a goal.
Goals a goal.
He is having like a historic goal scoring season in the
Yep.
Prem and
Yep.
making the Premier League look like a farmers league almost. But
And I mean,
it
Man
kinda
City.
feels that way nowadays.
yeah, well, you and I both know that.
Yeah.
I mean, Man City too. Like, we also talked about that. Like, they're undefeated at home.
Yeah.
Through like the last 12
Yeah.
at home, and so that's the thing. It's like, is that
Yeah.
going to be a main factor?
Playing in the Etihad. It's
Well,
gonna-
like talking about home stadiums, I think my most exciting matchup's Milan Inter
Yeah, the Milan
the
derby is
San
gonna be
Siro.
so sick.
because the San Siro is like close to the end of its lifespan.
That's true.
And so having a semifinal to Italian teams is like kind of rare in like
Yeah.
the recent years of soccer. You don't see a lot of Italian teams really competing anymore
Yeah.
since Juve.
True.
Which Juve got their points back.
They get their points back. They jumped up to what
Third.
in the Serie A table.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that even that Napoli upset was
shocking.
crazy. Was
Yeah.
shocking, right? And we talked about this before. The Napoli in the
One of
Italian
the
league
most
table,
informed teams.
they're like they're literally the best team in the Italian league, but like by far.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
to-
Victor Osimhen's on like a similar level to Holland.
Yeah, like he's just been amazing this year. But to me, between Inter and AC Milan, I'm gonna have to take AC Milan
Oh yeah,
on this.
Mike Mainan I think is probably up there as one of the best keepers in the world right now.
Yeah,
Rafael Leao is like super in demand at this point.
yeah,
Lucas Hernandez. No,
Yeah.
Theo.
yeah.
on the left. Like, it's just a really solid team. Sandro Tonali.
Still got Giroud over there, and
Olivier Giroud is a timeless treasure.
He's a
beautiful man, beautiful goals.
He is a beautiful man. He's a good-looking guy. If you ever get a chance to look at Olivier Giroud,
I will look him up.
He's French.
I do.
Wow.
Come on.
You know,
That's
I
right
do
up
like
Christina's
French
alley.
people.
Come on, man.
There you
But
go.
I'm not a PSG fan. I support Leeds.
It's okay though. You're a Leeds fan.
I'm a Leeds fan.
That's right.
Yeah.
Liverpool beat Leeds 6-1 the other day. I had to get my Liverpool. We haven't won a game in like over a month. Okay, I'm gonna cherish this moment. Okay.
You know, I'm just a Leeds fan because I used to love Brendan Aronson over at Red Bull Salzburg, and I moved over to Leeds with him, so it's okay.
No, hold that. Hold that out. Hold it. I don't care what your fandom stands. I needed this for my well-being as a Liverpool fan. I needed this, man.
I'll let you have the win, Naoki.
I needed this so bad.
Tough run of form gets to you.
Yeah, right. I mean,
I haven't seen a win in months.
you haven't seen a goal scored in months either.
No.
Oh,
Erling Haaland has more goals scored by himself than the entire
we've said
Chelsea
this
squad
before.
combined. We said this last week. It's tough.
that is
Being a Chelsea
so
fan
tough.
is rough.
I know a lot of my friends are Chelsea fans, and it's just
There's not much to be happy about there.
There is no
Yeah.
passion. There is no aggression. This freaking club. If you know, you know. So then, who do you said City? You said is your favorite to win it all?
I think it's City. Yeah.
Who do you got, Sonny?
Probably City.
City.
Yeah.
Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds is gonna take it all. No, I'm gonna go. I want to see an Italian team take it all. I want to see Milan.
Let's go.
All
Yeah.
right.
That your new man Giroud.
Yeah.
I love
Don't
it.
know him, but I'll support him.
You know, before we wrap up, I want to give one more shout out real quick. Shout out to the president, Malcolm Brogdon. He won 6th Man of the Year, Boston Celtics. I love when it is the look on your face. No, I'm not talking about the actual U.S. president. This is a sports podcast, everybody. Okay. No, but Malcolm. I said this last week. Malcolm Brogdon, to me, you know, my Celtics bias. He was my front runner for 6th Man of the Year, and it was fitting that the award is named after John Havlicek, of Celtics legend, and had to have a Boston Celtic win it this year. And Malcolm Brogdon's first year as a Celtic coming off the bench. Malcolm Brogdon, realistically, on a lot of other teams can start, but he chose to come off the bench to compete for a championship, and I appreciate you. I can't speak for everybody else.
I don't.
I
I'm
love
a Laker
you,
fan.
I
I
love
don't.
you. You're my president. That's my president right there.
Cool.
Let's wrap this.
Just
up.
wrap it up.
Okay. And with that being said, thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode, Season 1, Episode 10 of Teed Up. Thank you to our editor, Aiden Swanepoel, our producer, Layla Nunez, and our podcast editor, Isabel Salaji. If you want to stay up to date on the latest in Long Beach State sports, check out our website, daily49er.com, and follow us on socials at Daily49er. I'm Christina. Bye.
Later.
Mr. President.